Thank you. Right, welcome to this tent, the shelter from the rain. First, to start, I'd like to tell you some facts that maybe you haven't come across. Every 3 years, the number of vegans living worldwide doubles. That's every 3 years. There are now more than 100 million vegans on the planet today. It's the fastest growing social movement. A lot has changed since I went vegan when I was 12 years old. That was 19 years ago, and quite a long time relatively in my lifespan. Back then, when I was a child, I felt a bit isolated and ostracized that I was the only one that I thought that was going vegan. Fast forward to today, and things have changed so much. All my family and my friends are really encouraging and enthusiastic about me choosing a vegan lifestyle. There's also a lot of pride worldwide in this vegan movement. A week ago in London, I marched alongside 5,000 people from Hyde Park to Parliament Square in support of the vegan movement. It's wonderful to be a part of such a positive movement. But even that number of 5,000 was eclipsed because yesterday, in the capital of Israel, Tel Aviv, 25,000 people marched through the streets in support of veganism. Woo! Big ups Israel! I'm so proud to be part of this movement, and today I'd like to share with you what veganism has given me, because it has given me so much. In this talk I'm going to talk about 3 things: how it's helped me with sport and marathon running, how it is easy to be effortlessly healthy as a vegan, and also how easy it is to eat delicious vegan food today compared to 19 years ago. So, starting with marathon running, I decided to do my first marathon after what was one of the most unhealthy periods in my life. 7 years ago, I was living in Spain, in Madrid, the capital. As a sportsman, I partook in the 3 main sporting activities that I found in Madrid, which were eating tapas, drinking red wine, and smoking. Yes, devil smoking. I passed a very sociable and pleasant year, but I came back to England very fat and unemployed. My eureka moment for deciding when I knew I had to do a marathon came as I had a job interview and I tried to put on my suit. I'd already had my suit trousers expanded once to cater for my now capacious waistline, but to my horror and embarrassment, my suit trousers that I'd already had expanded no longer fitted round my gorged belly. I knew at that moment that I had to do a marathon. I didn't naturally take to running at first. I suppose I was wheezing a little bit because I'd just given up cigarettes, thank God, and after about 2 months I found I actually quite enjoyed the running. In a month I lost 10 kilos of fat. I was feeling fitter, I was feeling healthier, and I really enjoyed seeing the British winter, like we've got today, turn into the English spring from the soles of my feet. In the marathon, I didn't think I was especially quick. I was planning to run a fairly unimpressive marathon time of 3.5 hours, which, whilst it's not the slowest, is by no means the quickest marathon time. So I started the Madrid marathon and followed the 3.5 hour pace setter. After about the first kilometre, I found this pace a little bit slow for me. I was feeling good, I'd done the training, I'd had a good diet, so I decided to speed up a little bit at that time. At about the halfway mark, still feeling pretty good and full of energy, I spotted on the horizon on a bridge in Madrid another pace setter, but these guys actually had 3 hours written on their jerseys. I was amazed because I was running 30 minutes quicker, faster than I thought possible. Still feeling good, I decided to overtake these pace setters. But I think where I really truly felt a love for marathons was when I ran past my mum, my dad and my sister, who's not here today, and their surprise in their face that I was about 30 minutes ahead of where they ever thought possible, and their enthusiasm and shouts of encouragement gave me so much energy. The last 10 kilometers of that marathon, though they should have been the hardest, were actually the most satisfying. I got so much energy from this encouragement for my family, and I felt so fit that my body was operating at peak fitness that I just overtook people. I don't think I got overtaken once in the last 10 kilometers of that race. I finished my first ever marathon 40 minutes quicker than I planned. I did it in 2 hours 50 minutes and I finished 90th out of 10,000 people. I did not expect that, by the way. Did not expect that. So fast forward to this summer, and I've just recently run my 6th marathon. I've also managed to break my marathon time of 2 hours 50 by 9 minutes. My quickest time is 2 hours 41. And I even got on the BBC for last year doing press-ups in front of Buckingham Palace and got 400,000 views. I went viral. So, to answer this question of how I managed to run so much quicker, 40 minutes quicker than I ever thought my body was capable of, well, I have to put it down to diet. And that's where we come to the next stage of my talk. How you can be effortlessly healthy on a vegan diet. Well, this talk is all about sport, fitness, the positive benefits of a plant-based lifestyle, but it's important to just get a few ideas into the mix to explain why plants are so good. In meat, dairy and fish production, now there are so many chemicals and there are so many hormones used with these products. What you eat on your plate, by and large, is a pretty toxic thing that's very hard for your body to break down. Whereas meat is hard to break down, plants are not. Dairy products are actually one of the most unnatural products that you can eat. Cow's milk is basically liquid growth. Liquid growth. It's designed to turn a 30-kilogram calf into a 300-kilogram cow within the space of a few months. And the amount of growth hormones, fats and lipids just aren't good for a human body to ingest. So going back onto the plant-based lifestyle, plants are much easier to break down and they keep their nutrients all the way through this digestive process. And it's quite easy with a thought experiment to see how this works. If you imagine the environment of your digestive system, which is a pretty hot and humid place at 36 degrees, and then you place in this quite warm, hot and humid environment some chicken, some milk, and then a vegetable, say, I don't know, a broccoli, and then you come back to it after about 10 hours, which is the amount of time it takes for you to fully digest the food and give the chicken and the milk a smell, it will have started breaking down, it will have started decomposing. Whereas the broccoli will be almost exactly the same as when you first put it there. Meats contain some toxins, and throughout your digestive process they've already started decomposing, breaking down and possibly becoming slightly toxic. You get so many more nutrients from foods because all the way through the digestive process they keep their minerals, their vitamins and also their proteins. So this is why there's almost no vegans with protein deficiency with a balanced lifestyle, because you can absorb it so easily. I think this is the key to answering the question of why, with the training I did, I ended up, by surprise, by accident, running a marathon that was 40 minutes quicker than I thought it would be. It's because I was getting the energy from these plant-based foods. The last 10 kilometers of a marathon I always enjoy, because all my other runners fall by the wayside. I very rarely get overtaken in the last 10 kilometers. And this is because my diet has given me the stamina to run and push all the way through to the end of the last 10 kilometers of a 42-kilometer race. But, so, if you're vegan and you're healthy today, this isn't just today's thing. This translates into all periods of your life. If you're healthy today, you will be healthy in all stages of your life, because instead of having to break down the foods, you're getting the right nutrients to combat diseases, to help your muscles grow, to ensure that your bones stay strong. If you're effortlessly healthy, I find you'll also be effortlessly skinny. Although I was training a lot, I did, by cutting out cigarettes, by eating a good diet, I shaved 10 kilos off my capacious waistline in a month. But also I find when you don't do a lot of exercise, you stay within boundaries of your optimum weight. It really is a silver bullet. There's a higher chance that when you're 90 years old on a vegan diet, instead of being in a wheelchair, you will be still live, still relatively fit, and mentally sound. This diet really is the secret key to ensure that you enjoy all your years on this planet in good health. And I think that's pretty wonderful. So, we've heard about sport and marathon running, and we've heard about the fact that you'll still be running marathons, possibly at 90 years old. But a lot of people think, God, it's so hard to be vegan. And the food, it's earthy, it's really what hippies might eat. Well, I can say there is no catch to this. It's so easy today to be vegan. We're lucky to be in a world where there's 100 million vegans. As I said at the beginning of this talk, so much has changed since I was 12 years old. 19 years ago, it was pretty awkward to find vegan food that was healthy out and about. Chips and salad was my go-to. But today, 100 million people, they've got to eat. So many companies in the UK are seeing this demand, the fastest growing lifestyle movement, and they're responding to it. I challenge you to go to any village or town and not be able to find at least some vegan products locally. They're everywhere, in restaurants, supermarkets, coffee shops. They're catering to this demand. There are thousands of vegan restaurants across the UK now, but also mainstream restaurants like Wagamama's, like Zizzi's, have their own vegan menu. There's a delicious vegan pizza in in Zizzi's, and the cheese melts. It really is so easy. And so, what do I eat whilst running my marathons, day to day, when I'm not running? Well, actually, almost exactly the same diet as anybody. I've given up almost nothing, but I just eat the plant-based alternatives of the same foods. I eat pizza, I eat burgers, lasagna, hot dogs. But the wonderful thing is, although I have this same very meaty, very cheesy vegan diet, these foods contain very few of the saturated fats, the toxins of their meat and dairy-based alternatives. So back to this previous point that I made about being effortlessly healthy. If you can eat all these delicious, these rich, these cheesy foods, but yet they don't give you degenerative diseases, you can be effortlessly healthy and you don't even have to think about it. So behind me is sort of the typical foods that I might eat. Violife, the cheese is in the top left corner. They do everything from cream cheese to parmesan to mozzarella that melts on pizzas. You've got your burgers, shepherd's pie, and delicious salads that we all love anyway. So to close this talk, I'd like to share why I've recently become a little bit more active in spreading this knowledge, spreading what I've found in veganism. And the reason is, as I said at the outset, is because it's given me so much, but it also gives the planet so much. I really want to share the positive effect that veganism has on your health, because I want everybody to wake up every day feeling effortlessly healthy and effortlessly skinny. I want to share the positive message, the effect that this has on the animals. I want everybody to know that they are saving animals, that they are not killing animals. I want to share this message for what I think is one of the most powerful reasons of all. The effect, the positive effect that veganism has on the environment. We are all not on this planet to consume it in a single serving. In one generation. The most important thing we have to think about is that we are trustees of this planet. It is in our care, and we need to make sure we preserve its environment and its beauty to give to our children and our children's children. So, in finishing this talk, I have a call to action. I'd like to invite all of you to join the movement, this wonderful body of people who are going vegan. But more than this, I would like you to share this information, this knowledge, this passion that I have, and hopefully you will have. So we as a people, as a humanity, can be proud of this legacy and be proud of this planet that we're leaving to the next generation. And thank you all. Any questions? Yes, over here.
What do you think about superfoods and raw diets and things like that? Sort of notoriously healthy diets.
They are the ideal. Raw food is wonderful. It's food in its purest form. I mean, if you cook food over, I think it's 40 degrees, you start to break down the enzymes. I strive to be more raw and to eat salad. I love having a salad at lunch because it doesn't put me to sleep, whereas, I don't know, a whole vegan lasagna certainly does with its oily cheese. I think that's an ideal world, and I'm busy. I kind of often eat in fast food restaurants, so I make excuses, and I really like all of these foods as well. So in an ideal world, I'll be as raw as I can, and the superfoods are great, and I use them for marathon training a lot, like chia seeds, goji berries. All of those are really good for recovery. So I'm an advocate, I just don't practice what I preach, always.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Andrew. I did raw for August, and I must admit, the recovery, if I was doing any exercise, and I actually got my mountain bike back after 2 years, was that I actually didn't get DOMS, I didn't get delayed onset of muscle soreness, because I was eating so much fruit. So I was mainly eating fruit with a bit of vegetables, and I was still having like hot drinks because it wasn't exactly the great British summer, but I've definitely decided that, you know, just having more fruit and veg like in a raw state, I mean, it's going to be harder in the winter, it's just so much more beneficial. Yep. I wish I could just move somewhere warmer where they have watermelon all year round, and then I'd be sorted.
Yeah. Agreed.
But we love all the vegan cakes that like April's got. Oh my gosh, she's packing up.
They're so tempting. I know. A question over here?
What made you go vegan when you were 12? Anything you mention?
I didn't. Without a doubt, it would be my mum. Dad bought her a book, a famous book called Fit for Life, because my mum used to be a massive meat eater. Then she started to realise through this book that eating meat was actually not healthy if you did it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. I looked into it a little bit more, and I think that's where Dad regretted ever starting her out on this health trail. But after me fighting it for a bit, hiding cheese under the sofa, you know, the usual, Mum gave me a book and it made sense. Because I didn't go for me, I went vegetarian whilst I was in France and Spain. It wasn't just the cigarettes, I was enormously fat because I lived above a cheese shop. and I got smells of manchego cheese wafting through my window, but it's all I ate, and so I was truly fat, obese and unhealthy. And then, so coming back, I always knew I had a nagging doubt that I was vegan when I was a kid for something, and that I'd forgotten it and kind of pushed it under the carpet, and I wasn't eating meat. But when I came back from Spain, I saw just a video of a slaughterhouse of little piglets, like, you know, infants, being killed and being dropped on the floor. And I thought, I don't care if this is 1%, 0.1% of all animals being killed. I cannot support an industry that's linked to anything so terrible as this. I went vegan immediately, and because I went for me rather than my mum, now I'll never go back. Yeah. So, a health food shop or the veggie section in Waitrose. I think the important thing for me, so I went vegan and started experimenting and cooking when I was 13. Mum really encouraged that, because if you don't eat delicious food, food is such a big part of our diet. You need to really enjoy the food that you're eating. There's a health food shop called Food for Thought in Guildford, and it has everything. It's our go-to until I moved to London, and now there's Green Bay, which is absolutely massive, has hundreds of products. And then when you experiment, find what you like, find out how to make the meaty things vegan and the cheesy things vegan, then you'll start to love it. And then watch some docos, and then you start to get interested in the whole lifestyle, and you don't turn back after that. I think that's me out. Thanks so much. Really enjoyed speaking. Cheers. Thanks for your support on this rainy day.